appears that the moment of silence has passed, although some are reluctant to let it go. I see so many tissues, so many weepy eyes, so many people who just are having a difficult time processing that this community finds itself in the position that it is in right now.
It finds it in the position that it's in, but in the other side of the coin, just recall now, if you will, the heroic efforts exactly a week ago in the wake of the horror, when the 3 lives were taken on the day of the marathon, and then the 4th life taken later. The heroic efforts of everyone running to help, running toward people to help, and we can't forget the 3 people who died on Marathon Monday, the officer who died in Cambridge, and the over 170 people who were wounded and injured that day.
Mayor Menino looks like he's struggling with letting this moment pass. This is a man who started the week when everyone else was lacing up their sneakers to run the marathon, in surgery himself for a broken ankle, and has heroically sprung right back, checked himself out of the hospital to lead this great city that he loves so much through its darkest times in many, many years.
And look at this, it's passed now. The moment of silence has passed, and no one is left. Boylston Street, people are still there. I'll be honest with you, when I see those yellow balloons, I just saw them there. I remember a week ago.
Hard to watch some. Very hard to watch some of the images. And the black bunting that's now been wrapped around.
This again is in Dorchester. And no one moving. The sounds of the city playing very loudly in the background, but no one there speaking. State House still frozen at that moment at 2:50 in the afternoon.
Well, in the last week there has been so much noise that everyone has had to endure. In some regards, just the 24/7 reports that were on television and watching it all unfold, and people wanting to be in the know were glued to their television sets. So a moment of silence after everything. The gunshots that rang out in Cambridge and Watertown, the small explosives that were thrown, the unspeakable sounds at the finish line of the marathon. Silence is really a beautiful thing, and you could hear the birds singing in the background. I woke up this morning, Eddie, and laid in bed looking out at the blue sky, and I didn't want to move for like 30 minutes because I could hear the birds and I could see the blue sky, and it was so comforting.
You saw there was people were beginning to return into the State House, but here at Boylston Street, looking toward they're ascending the steps of the State House, but on Boylston Street they're looking back toward the finish line, back toward the spot where the 2 explosions happened. It wasn't in this 4 block, as you well know. It is way back in the secondary. It's back on the horizon there. That's where it happened. And people have been focused on that, and still standing there.
Well, in disbelief, looking at the empty streets. I mean, this is their Boston. It's our Boston. It's everyone's Boston. And to see it sitting still, frozen in time after 1 week ago, is a staggering image that I don't think people will soon forget.
He was actually fluffy.
It is by no means an end to the remembrances. It is by no means the closing of an event. In the last few days, there have been a number of developments in the investigation, in the case itself, including labeling, identifying, capturing. In the case of one of the suspects is dead, and the other has been charged. So there have been rapid developments in this investigation, but it'll never be closed. It'll never be closed because the Richard family has been affected in ways that none of us has. The Campbell family's been affected in ways that none of us has. Ling Shilu's family has been affected. Sean Collier's family has been affected. And that doesn't mention the 170 who were injured in any way from simple injuries to severe injuries.
To look at the stripes, the red, white, and blue, the stars waving in the winds this afternoon. In the Cathedral of the Holy Cross and the cross on top. I think there have been a lot of silent prayers said out here today. So many people standing in silence that you kind of get a sense for what's going on, unspoken in their minds.
In many ways, it has been just an absolutely horrible week in town, and in many ways, it's been a wonderful week in town.
Well, you know, through the darkest hours, we have seen some of the finest characteristics of people, that is for certain.
In the seconds that we have left, we would like to put up the pictures of the 4 people whose lives were lost. The 3 a week ago, and the 4th in the last period of time.
And remind you that we will be continuing our coverage tonight at 5 o'clock. You can look for ongoing online coverage on WCVB.com as we take a moment and pause to remember these beautiful lives that were lost and the moment that changed Boston forever 1 week ago.